Diego Rodriguez? Did somebody say Idaho?
Here in Idaho, where we're at, the police are very well known for being heavy-handed, tyrannical. I mean, if a 70-year-old man here does a rolling stop, it'll take 5 cops to pull him over. In this case,
I guess they don't have much to do over there, huh?
They have nothing to do, brother. They have nothing to do, so they just are completely tyrannical. You can see in the video, there's how many cops there are, and there's about 15 of them, probably more.
Yeah, you'd think a shooting just happened or something.
That's what you would think. It was absolutely, and one of the things that's so terrible is if you've already watched the video, they treated my family worse than they treat like shooting, criminals, people who are out there doing shooting and robbing and things like this. And here, this is a Christian family. My daughter is a homeschooled daughter with, 5 children. My son-in-law comes from a homeschool family of 11 children. These are godly Christian people. They don't, they're not alcoholics. They're not drug addicts here. This is like the most all-American family you could ever find. And so the point that people are seeing and why it's become national news is if they can do this to a clean family like this, they can do this to anybody.
So this was 4 weeks ago. This is CPS making trouble in the neighborhood. They do this a lot. All right, so he's on the War Room today. He was talking to Owen Sore, telling the story. And he was talking about the story, and he continues.
Squad car. My other daughter, who is not the mother of baby Cyrus, is sitting in the front seat. They're telling her, get your ass out of the car. They rip her out of they're pulling her out through the window, which you could see there. And she goes, why? What crime did I commit? Now, my daughters are very savvy. They know the law. They know their rights. And so they're claiming their rights. What crime did I commit? She asked multiple times. They wouldn't answer till finally he says, felony injury to a child, which is a pure lie. And they can't just say that. But they do. They pull her out. She goes, felony injury to a child. That's not my child. And so then he goes, well, now you're under arrest for falsifying information to an officer. And the other officer mocks her and says, well, if that's not your child, you don't need to be going into handcuffs. Well, it wasn't her child, but these morons just are all hyped up on adrenaline, and they think everything is, World War III, and they take her and throw her in the back of a squad car. There you can see my son-in-law being, taken away. And so then I'm on the outside screaming, hey, that's my daughter, leave him alone. And they threatened to shoot me. They got their hands on their guns saying, if you move, we'll arrest you. So I have to watch as my 2 daughters are assaulted, falsely arrested. The baby Cyrus is ripped out of my daughter's arms, and then my grandson is kidnapped. I have to watch all this with my own eyes. So they then take my daughter and my son-in-law, and they have them put in the back of squad cars. So my daughter, who's the mother of baby Cyrus, is sitting in the back of the truck, all, frightened. And you can see right here where they open the door, and they see her in the back. And once they see her there in the back, then they start manipulating her to get her out of the truck, because there's people there filming. Everybody there's filming. There's people just saying, well, what's going on? And if there's one thing police officers hate is cameras. It's the only thing that can convict them, because they all lie. And I know that's a terrible broad brush, and I don't want to throw all police officers under the bus, but I'm telling you, these guys here all lie, and they back one another up. So their job was to get Marissa out of the truck and into the ambulance. And they lied to her and say, hey, just get in the ambulance. You can go with baby Cyrus. We just want to check on him. Go down to the hospital, and everything's going to be fine. You can ride with baby Cyrus in the ambulance. You can go to the hospital. But as soon as I got her in the ambulance, it was all a lie. They said, give us the baby or you're going to be arrested. And they told her over and over again, you give us a baby, you're going to be arrested. This one, absolute criminal thug here tells her, literally, give the baby to the EMT and just go on your merry way. Literally, he says that to her. And so she refuses to give baby Cyrus up, obviously. And so they rip baby Cyrus out of her arms, put her in cuffs, and arrest her. And then from there, all hell just, of course, breaks loose. There you can see now what was going on here. And the reason why this has become national news is because my daughter was smart enough to start live streaming this. So everything that happened was being live streamed on Facebook. Had this not been filmed and had she not live streamed this, people wouldn't even believe this happens, because what we found out here, Owen, is that people assume what you said earlier, that CPS exists for the purpose of protecting children from abusive parents. What I have found out in the last 4 weeks, as I've gone through this myself, and it's been like drinking from a fire hose in terms of the amount of information that we've had to consume in that time, is that CPS is literally the largest network of child traffickers in the history of the world, and it is all subsidized by our taxpayer dollars.